Well, folks, welcome back to Lucore Automotive. Today, we're doing some diagnostic stuff. We're doing some fixing stuff, and we're going to show you the difference between a true actual mechanic shop and just somebody who hangs parts and works on OEM stuff. As many of you have basically noticed on this channel, we do a lot of stuff that's not just your normal daily driver stuff, but we do quite a bit of daily driver stuff as well. We also work on a whole lot of modified cars, which are really terrifying for a lot of shops. It's one of the things that makes us special, and we don't mind that whatsoever. Today, we have a very interesting situation. This vehicle has been to a number of different shops in the area, all trying to diagnose a driveline vibration. And unfortunately, all of them have basically told this customer that they can't fix it, they don't know what it is, take it somewhere else, not our problem. Well, that's not really how we roll. Let me read the note the customer left us. Very noticeable vibration throughout vehicle at 50 to 60 miles per hour, especially when off and on the throttle pedal. Okay. Vibration also noticeable around 45 miles an hour when off throttle. Suspected as a guibo joint, which is causing these vibrations. Direct replacement is provided, customer provided parts. Please drive vehicle before and after install to see if vibration is still present. If vibration is still present, request diagnostic. Pretty simple. So, what we have to work with today is something that's a little bit different than what you guys are going to be wanting to see, but it makes sense for what I'm trying to show you guys. This is an Infiniti. It's an all-wheel drive sports sedan. This is a rear-wheel drive sports sedan. And as you can see, she's got some aftermarket suspension on it. It's lowered, which is fine. We do a lot of that kind of stuff. It's in pretty good shape. Pretty cool vehicle. These cars are quite capable. They are comfortable and sporty. They are V6 powered. This particular one is automatic. They have a multi-piece drive shaft. So you're going to probably understand where I'm going with this. They have a multi-piece drive shaft. So there's a slip yoke that comes out of the transmission. It goes to a carrier bearing, goes out to another secondary drive shaft, and goes to a guibo joint that goes back to the back rear. And then the whole idea with all of that setup is to be able to remove driveline vibrations from the nice luxury sedan. Now, when you do things that modify the car, like lowering it, stiffer springs, in this case also solid transmission and motor mounts, you do induce some vibration into the car, so you need to kind of keep that in mind when you're going out for a diagnostic. However, what this customer was reporting is not necessarily something that you're going to find a difference when you throttle on, throttle off. It says it in his message, which points you to somewhere else. Now, the fact that this has been to numerous different other shops and nobody has been able to properly diagnose this is kind of an interesting problem. Didn't take us too particularly long to figure out what was going on with it, and I'll show you. So this is our two-piece drive shaft that came out of said Infiniti. And I'm not sure this is going to translate real well, but you can see some notchiness in that U-joint where it sticks. See that? It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be nice and smooth. It's extremely notchy. Similar situation with this guy. And that is where your driveline variation is. Carrier bearing is pretty solid. No real play there. Everything else seems to be good. So, the throttle on, throttle off thing should have been a pretty big clue for a lot of people. When you're changing how that is, you're going to feel that. And that notchiness in the drive shaft, as it's spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, it's going to catch. Obviously, the faster you spin it, the faster you're going to feel that vibration. Now, again, as I said, there's going to be some vibration in this chassis anyway because of the fact that it's got stiff motor mounts, it's got solid motor mounts, it's got stiffer spring rates. There's a lot to that, but you need to be able to feel that and understand what's going on in the vehicle. Now, is that the customer's responsibility? I mean, sure, I guess. Not unless they're paying a shop to figure that out. And unfortunately, most shops these days are just honestly not really willing to do any of this stuff. It's amazing how many shops these days aren't even willing to work on aftermarket stuff or modified vehicles anymore. They want to just work on OEM stuff, be able to call their parts supplier and say, I need X, Y, Z, and ship it down the road. They don't want to do any of the fun stuff, the odd stuff. And that's one of the things that makes us a little bit of a different shop. Now, we have replaced the drive shaft. We got a brand new drive shaft that was made for this thing. We did end up using the customer's guibo joint because that drive shaft did not come with a guibo. So that new rubber disc is in there as well. And I think we got ourselves licked. I'm gonna go ahead and take this for a little bit of a drive. We're gonna see exactly how it feels, how it responds, see if that vibration is there, if it's gone. If there's anything else that I don't like about the vehicle, we can bring that up to the customer, but that's all part of the diagnostic process. When you're paying a shop good money, the money you made, to be able to figure out what's wrong with your car, should be getting at least some value for that. Not just, yep, it's got a vibration, we can't figure it out, and send it down the road. Any decent shop, any decent automotive shop should have immediately thought, you know, this is probably something to do with that drive shaft. We should probably take it out and look and see what's going on. And it's not that big of a deal to remove drive shaft out of one of these cars. So let's go for a drive. Okay, it's obviously also got an exhaust system to it, which is pretty common on any of these VQ motors. They do have a pretty good sound to them. So right away I can tell you, it definitely has a louder exhaust. There's some rumble that you feel out of the back of the car from the exhaust itself, so put that in mind. The car is sitting still. There is definitely vibration in it without the car moving whatsoever. That is going to be an auditory thing. That is also a vibrational thing. So engine vibration transferring into the chassis, transferring into me. Keep all that in mind before you go for a drive. So it sets us a baseline. Let's go. Feels pretty good so far. Again, sitting here at idle, there is some vibration to it. I'm not moving. The drive shaft is not spinning. So that is just something that's native to the car. Throttle on, throttle off. We're doing 45 miles an hour or so. Right where the customer states this is a noticeable issue. Now I can still feel that exhaust vibration. I can feel that the engine, the solid mounts. But if I throttle on, throttle off, all I'm feeling is a speeding up of, oh, got some bird dew. All I can feel is just the engine vibrations, the transmission vibrations. I don't feel anything that's loading and unloading that drive shaft and making that unhappy. Maybe a little bit of tire vibration. Doesn't feel bad to me at all. I think we got a winner. Now, obviously, as I said, this does have coilovers on it. I think they're Fortune Auto coilovers, so it does ride a lot stiffer than you would normally feel. But you can differentiate between suspension feeling and a vibrational, rotational feeling. But this feels, to me, this feels really good. This car feels really nicely planted. It goes around corners nicely. It's not too harsh of a ride. One of the things when you go solid motor mounts and solid trans mounts is you are going to introduce more of that feeling into the vehicle of those rotational bits. And these cars were designed as luxury sports sedans, so they're much more on the luxury side, and they're trying to remove those vibrations and remove that sensation. So it does change the characteristics of the vehicle, but driving around at 35, 45 miles an hour, absolutely no problems at all. You've got the exhaust sound out of the rear that, you know, there's a little bit of a vibration just purely from the exhaust coming out of this car. But otherwise, there's nothing that I would say is a problem, and I would say the drive shaft fixed our issue. Well done, us. Well done. Sorry, Mr. Customer, that it took this much to figure this out. At least we got you squared away. This thing feels great. Well, folks, there you go. Another car fixed and back on the road. Another customer satisfied. Infiniti G35S, cool little sports sedan, rear-wheel drive, VQ35 powered. Had a vibration in the driveline. Should not have been something that was too terribly difficult for most mechanics to be able to diagnose. You just got to get time into it. You got to get it up in the air and see what's going on. You got to test and verify, see where your vibration's coming from, and fix your problem. Now, whether or not that's just an issue of people just didn't want to work on it because it was a modified car and they don't want the headache of that, or if they're just maybe not necessarily up to the level that we are, hard to say. But we got it fixed. It's back on the road. Move on to the next one. Thanks for being here, guys. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.